Okay, so today's talk is going to be about masculine and feminine energies, okay? Because I hear women saying a lot, I need a masculine man in order to be in my feminine. And I'm like, girl, no, absolutely the fuck not. So bring it in so I can give you a different perspective, because my freak is actually reminding souls, reminding people who they truly are so that they can stand in their power. The thing is that so often what we have is a society that has the masculine and feminine energy conversation completely fucked up because we confuse energetic wholeness with gender roles and relationship dependency. So I often hear women and men saying things like this, and especially in the spiritual community, oh, be feminine so that you can find yourself a masculine man. So often people are teaching just one side of things and not zooming out of the human experience and seeing from a higher perspective. Because all I see when I hear that is humans giving their power away rather than becoming whole humans and then choosing from preference. So let me explain. So first, we often mix masculine, feminine energies with the genders of the body, when the truth is that these energies are within both women and men and can be expressed through both women and men. So when both humans, whether woman or man, integrate these energies within themselves, then we have humans operating from their wholeness. When people say feminine, it does not equal female. Okay, that's the first thing to understand. Female is a biological sex label for the body. Feminine is an energetic principle, a way of relating to life. It is associated with the qualities of receptivity, intuition, things like presence, creativity, having emotional depth, having emotional intelligence, and allowing. Now, can both women and men express that? Yes. So when someone talks about healing your feminine, they're not talking about becoming more female, talking about both men and women reconnecting with a part of their consciousness that exists regardless of gender and what you have between your legs. Now, the thing for me is that when your state of being, your emotional state, your sense of peace, or how you show up in life is dependent on someone outside of yourself, that is actually you giving your power away. So the thing to understand is that a soul in a female body can express masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have demonized in the spiritual community. We have literally have women demonizing the masculine energy within them. But a soul equally in a male body can express feminine energy. And so society has also demonized men expressing their feminine energy. And this is honestly what is off with society, is off with the world. We're so disconnected with the internal energies that it is already provided to us. So some of us have the dormant feminine within us or a dormant masculine within us. And so I've heard many women say, I'm tired of feeling like a man, right? But let's investigate that further, because what does that actually mean, right? Is she really tired of being a man? Or if we go deeper, is she just tired of carrying everyone, over functioning, making every decision, believing that everything depends on her, protecting everyone, never asking for help, never receiving, and probably most likely mothering her partner? So let's be so for real. Those things are not about being a man. And some of that isn't even healthy masculine. A lot of the stuff that I just mentioned are just survival programming. So then the question then becomes, where are you over functioning out of fear? Where are you mothering grown-ass adults? Where are you doing things that nobody actually asked you to do? Where are you making yourself responsible for another person's emotions, growth, finances, decisions, or consequences? 11:11 on my clock. So the thing to ask yourself is, where are you constantly stepping in, rescuing, fixing, and figuring things out because you believe that no one else will do it? And the ego blinds you with the arrogance of thinking that you're the only one that can. And I'm only speaking from experience because this literally used to be me. I used to literally make myself responsible for everyone else. I'm the first daughter, okay? And so I literally took responsibility. I always figured everything out. And then I was burned out. And I was resentful with people because I wanted somebody to take it away, when in reality, it's like nobody's asking me to do any of these things. What I needed to do was fall back. Fall back. Let other people also figure it out. Let grown-ass adults also figure it out. Let yourself receive. Because sometimes nobody puts you in your masculine. You are doing it by over-functioning. And so one of the many belief systems that you may be carrying and need to rewire is, oh, I can't rely on anyone, or I'm responsible for everyone. And so, of course, with that kind of belief system, your body will feel exhausted. It is what it is. So what happens is that when you're so exhausted and your body's so exhausted because you're unaware of what you're doing, you'll look for someone else to come and take that exhaustion away from you. Take it away, please. Like, somebody else come and do this for me. That's a very savior programming. Because the thing is that your body is actually carrying your belief systems. And that is the consciousness that you need to look at. What is underneath why you behave the way that you behave? Because a man cannot give you your feminine. Now, that's not to say that a man can absolutely create a relationship dynamic where you feel safe to soften. We can be honest about that, because someone can be supportive, they can be reliable, they can be emotionally present, they can be responsible, they can be a provider, they can be a protector, but he cannot give you an internal energy that you are capable of waking up within yourself and generating yourself just as he can. Because if your belief is I'm only allowed to soften when someone else proves it's safe or comes along to save me, you're fucked. Because you gave that power and that job to someone else outside of you. And so let's say that the relationship ends for whatever reason, and you did not embody this energy for yourself. Now your softness, your feminine, your security, that expression of you is externally controlled. Your sense of peace and your sense of groundedness now belongs to someone else outside of you. It's like literally you installing the light switch for your own house inside someone else's living room. And every time that you want the light on, now they have to flip the switch for you. And if they leave or the relationship ends, you're left sitting there in the dark. Now, not because you can't create light, but because you gave someone else control over your light switch. You gave responsibility to someone else and said, hey, because you have this energy, now, it depends on you. So it's important to not abandon aspects of ourselves. Because the thing is, we can't even talk about the women who abandon their masculine energy, because this is literally the other side I've seen. And not many people talk about the women who abandon their own inner masculine. Because we're so brainwashed with gender roles and that what a woman is supposed to be and look like, that we literally swing to the opposite side and end up with women who abandon their own internal masculine energy. And trust me, you don't want that either. You don't want your inner masculine to become completely dormant, because then you become what people call the passenger princess with no fucking direction in life. And what does that look like? And by the way, I've worked one-on-one with women who have abandoned their inner masculine. And this is why I am talking about this stuff. When you abandon your inner masculine, you can't decide. You can't make decisions for yourself. You can't lead yourself. You don't know what you want. You want someone else to create structure for you. You want someone else to lead you. You want someone else to make the decisions. You need someone else to come and move you. You want someone else to choose the direction for you. You want someone else to create the financial safety for you. You want someone else to take action for you. And then we call that being feminine. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, that has nothing to do with being feminine and everything to do with disempowerment. So I've seen the scenario where the woman was in her feminine and she wasn't leading anything in her life. And the man was doing everything. He was being the masculine. And then the relationship comes to an end. And the woman is like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. She has no direction in life because she was never rooted in her own inner masculine. So now she feels lost because she gave her power away to a man. God forbid he dies, because that's another aspect I've literally seen where the man dies. He was taking care of everything, right? In that sense. in the masculine aspect. And that happened. Now the woman doesn't know what to do. She has no direction because she gave her power away. Now, it's not to say that the man can do all of those things. But if you let your inner masculine sit down and become dormant, you're also going to suffer if something happens, if the relationship ends. So I've seen women be abandoned by a man, by a masculine man, and suffer. Okay. So what happens is like, they don't know what to do with their kids. They're not making their own money. They've been not taking action. There was no movement. Because movement is masculine energy. And the thing is that the goal has always been wholeness. To become a whole fucking rooted human being. Because your inner masculine actually gives your life direction. It gives your life structure. It gives your life protection. It gives your life discernment. The ability to lead yourself and to move. Now, your feminine gives your life intuition. It gives your life receptivity. It gives your life creativity, spaciousness, surrender, depth. But these energies live in both women and men. They're expressions of energetic principles. And there's this bullshit that goes around saying women are more intuitive than men. That's bullshit, y'all. That's a belief system. That is not truth. Both women and men are God. Both women and men have inner masculine and feminine energy. A man can be just as intuitive. Intuition has nothing to do with gender and with what's between your legs. Both women and men have the God within. You need both wings. Both women and men need both wings so that they can fly to the highest version of themselves. Imagine a butterfly that only has one wing. How far can it really get? But when you have both wings, both your masculine and inner, and you're rooted in both of them without making any of them wrong, now you have a whole butterfly. Now you've become the whole butterfly, and you can fly to the highest version of yourself. From wholeness, from being the butterfly with both wings, now you can attract and consciously choose the relationship dynamic that you prefer. And that can sound like, oh, I'm fully capable of providing for myself. And integrates. I desire a partner who loves to provide. I can make decisions for myself, and I enjoy being with a man I trust to sometimes take the lead. I can protect myself, and I love feeling protected. I have direction in my own life, and I can receive support. That's not being dependent. That's you having preference from wholeness. From you having both of your wings. From you being the butterfly with both wings. So, really take that all in. Because I'm really curious. Where have you been outsourcing your own power? Where have you been waiting for someone else to unlock something that's actually yours to cultivate? Where have you abandoned one side of yourself because society told you that's what a real woman or a real man should be and should do? Sometimes I'm like, man, humans have such a fucking crab mentality. Like, honestly, wholeness isn't becoming more masculine or more feminine. It's remembering that you were always both. And these energies live within you. And so from there, when we're whole and complete within ourselves, within our energies, then love becomes a choice, not a damn survival strategy, and not where you're giving your power away. All right, guys, thank you for being here for today's talk. If you're into this stuff, into energetic principles, and you want a practical book, God in a Costume, Remembering Who You Really Are, is available now on Amazon. See you next time. Mwah.